News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Missoula police investigate shots fired, and a young girl is still missing. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning. It's Thursday, April 13th, 2017. Partly cloudy. We've got 45 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Bullseye Wear with Missoula's only certified master optician, 2910 South Preserve, the old R.P. Ellis location. Missoula police still trying to sort out just exactly what happened yesterday morning after a woman called 911 for help at about 9:40 a.m. Here's Public Information Officer Travis Welsh.
We responded to a report of a disturbance in the 1600 block of Milwaukee Way in an apartment complex parking area there. A woman on the phone reported that she was being held at gunpoint by a male. The phone soon went dead, and officers proceeded to the area after hearing that there had been a shot fired.
By the time police arrived, the woman, the shooter, and 3 vehicles were missing, which has police currently canvassing the area for clues.
When they got there, they learned that there had been 3 vehicles in the parking lot, the occupants of whom appeared to be the ones involved in this disturbance. There was a male who approached with a handgun and did fire a shot. However, we have no reports of any injuries in the apartment complex at this time, and we don't know the status of the persons that were in the vehicles that all left the scene.
The suspect now in custody, Corey Kendall, and the blue 2005 Hyundai Elantra have been located. 17-year-old Lacey Moore, though, is still missing at this time. Last seen in Missoula, she's described as a white female, having blonde hair, green eyes, about 5'10", and 150 pounds. Anyone with information has to call the police department at 552-6300 or contact 911. The Montana Supreme Court has cleared Hill and Blaine County officials of discrimination in the slow, painful death of a teenager suffering from alcohol withdrawal while in jail for more than 4 days. The court concluded 18-year-old Alan Longsoldier Jr. suffered horrendously, but not as the result of discrimination against a disability, alcoholism. The basketball standout was arrested in November of 2009 after his probation officer couldn't contact him. Over the next 3 days in jail, he didn't sleep and began hallucinating, dry heaving, and pleading for help. His jailers took him to Northern Montana Hospital, where he was given a prescription that officers did not fill. His condition worsened, and he died of delirium tremens, or the DTs. Longsoldier's friend, Summer Stricker, alleged in a Montana Human Rights Bureau complaint his prescription was not filled because of discrimination. The Montana High School Association made the decision on Tuesday to move the state A and C track meets out of Missoula to Laurel for the event scheduled for May 26th and 27th. MHSA spokesman Mark Beckman said the decision was difficult but necessary.
Our board met yesterday and made that decision. It was a tough decision because, of course, Missoula is a great host for our state events and for a lot of postseason events. But with the uncertainty in regard to the completion of the track and some of the requirements that were in place, that they would need 50-degree weather for maybe 5 hours more.
The impact of the MHSA's decision is reverberated throughout the Missoula business community. Director of Sales and Services at Destination Missoula, Mary Holmes, said the economic impact of not hosting the event will be devastating.
We were expecting over 3,000 overnight visitors into Missoula over that period, and I believe our projection was $1.3 million economic impact to our community. The official tournament schedules are set for the year. They're calling oftentimes a year out in advance to get all of their reservations booked up. So Missoula, the hotel capacity has been full for easily 6 months.
Beckman said there's still an opportunity for Missoula to bid for other tournaments in the upcoming school year. There's no lawsuit yet against the city of Missoula, but Garden City Funeral Home and Crematory owner Rick Evans said he and Garden City Monuments owner Bob Jordan are prepared to sue if the city doesn't back away from performing monument work, like the selling of gravestones and performance of carvings and etchings at the city cemetery. Evans says, who is a city taxpayer, he says he feels it's unfair that his taxes are being used to create a new competitor against him in the market.
You will make a mistake when you're selling monuments on a date or a name or a spelling, and who's going to eat that mistake? In the private sector, we do. Here, it's going to be passed on to city taxpayers. They sent the manager, Ronald Reagan, to a big convention. He spent over $4,000 to go basically on vacation. just another way of our city wasting taxpayers' money, and it's got to stop.
In a letter, City Attorney Jim Nugent said the city is not entering the monument business, while at the same time defending the city's cemetery goal of, quote, selling monuments, end quote, by saying it would, quote, bring more fiscal responsibility to the cemetery, end quote. Evans says the city needs more fiscal responsibility, but the city's going about it the wrong way.
We as the city taxpayers fund the cemetery over $500,000 a year to run the cemetery because it's run so poorly. They're way overstaffed. And that's a bureaucracy thing from the city. I own Sunset Memorial Garden Cemetery. We do twice as many interments as they do, with a third of the help that they have.
Evans hopes the city and private monument companies can resolve the issue before a lawsuit is needed. It says so far city councilors have been responsive to complaints. Montana legislators are moving to clear a slate of bills from its waning schedule, including a slate of proposals focused on abortion, guns, and marijuana. Yesterday, the House advanced a measure to outlaw abortion on so-called pain-capable fetuses and moved forward with finalizing rules on medicinal marijuana. Meanwhile, the Senate advanced a bill that would define a fertilized embryo as a person, but the measure would need the approval of at least 42 of 50 senators to advance to the governor's desk. The chamber also affirmed its support for allowing lawmakers to carry concealed weapons in the Capitol. Earlier this week, Montana Governor Steve Bullock signed a bill to protect kids from adults who may be, quote, grooming them, end quote, for sexual exploitation, accompanied by Missoula legislator Kimberly Dudick and Missoula City Police Detective Katie Peterson. Dudick said House Bill 247 helped to expand sexual abuse of children laws.
When adults target children and they expose them to sexual materials, be they pornography, videos, or magazines, and it's intended to lower children's inhibitions before somebody actually sexually assaults the child.
Detective Peterson expanded on that bill.
Basically what it does is makes it a clear felony to sexually touch yourself in front of a child, and also makes it a clear felony to make a child watch pornography. However, we are careful in making sure that we're not doing things like criminalizing sexual education.
Peterson explained why legislators revised the statute of limitations.
These were previously covered under the obscenity or the indecent exposure law, but they were misdemeanors with a one-year statute of limitations. And what we know about children is that they often don't disclose for quite a while. And so unless we caught this quick, or unless it was very, very specific circumstances, we were unable to move forward.
When asked if there was any opposition to the bill, Peterson replied, quote, absolutely none, end quote. Our News Talk time is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Rain likely today with our high temperatures in the mid-50s. It'll be breezy at times with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. An isolated thunderstorm will be possible. Tonight, a wintry mix of rain and snow with lows right around the freezing mark. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.